my YouTube page to launch. Yeah, awesome. What's up, guys? YouTube and Facebook land. It's your boy Noisy Source here. I'm going to be making you a beat live today, as I always do. I'm going to be going from scratch, as always, and I'm going to be working on a Migos type beat, or Migos / Noisy Source type beat. Blank template here, just going from scratch. Don't have any solid ideas down. I do got a bit of an idea in my head of where I want to go with this. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. First thing I want to do, I'm going to kind of go with that newer trappier kind of filtered sound that they use, and also is more what I use than most other sounds. So this is going to be very my style. I'm going to start with a bell sound. I'm going to crank that up so you can hear it. And I'm going to do a bit of a stereo panning thing with this, where I end up with 3 layers, one pan in the center, one pan more left, one pan more right. So you get this like really wide kind of bell sound going. And yeah, we're going to take it from there. And so first thing I've got to do is come up with some kind of melody that is going to be the basis of the whole beat. Kind of like that. That's cool. I'm going to find a good melody for that. So, sorry, good tempo for that. I like that. I'm going to record that, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to make that a bit more interesting and wide, and then mess with the sound a little bit. So just going to record that first. Try that again. Terrible. All right. Now I'm going to quantize that. All right. Now we're going to duplicate that twice. And what I'm going to do is, from the duplicates, I'm going to get rid of all of the chord notes that I play. Those two. Those two. Pretty much anything that's played in a chord, I'm going to get rid of. And we're going to end up using those. Cool. Now, from the main one, I'm going to get rid of anything that isn't a chord. So those guys. Those guys. Let's join these back up. And that. All right, cool. Now, every second note, I'm going to delete from each of these, so it's going to bounce around left to right. And the other one, obviously, I'm going to do the opposite. Together, we should have the same melody that we had before. Next thing I'm going to do is get rid of all the other synths in my thing, and this is just going to be a bells overall channel. I'm going to now affect that whole bells channel with some plugins. First thing I'm going to do is the trusty filter. It's going to pull out all of the high end. Next thing I want to do is actually want to throw a compressor on this to kind of crush everything a little bit to also add some flavor to it. I'm going to use Deflector by UBK plugins. This is a really cool plugin if you want to add some flavor and compression at the same time. So we've got compression, we've got a filter, and now it's already got quite a bit of reverb on it naturally. So I'm not going to add any more reverb, but I do want to put a bit of a delay on there. And I'm going to use just H delay with an eighth note, quite low in the mix, and see how that sounds. I'm going to do the old high pass, low pass, get rid of the analog, put the lo-fi on. I might even put a little bit of modulation. Damn. Only problem I have, some of these lower notes I've got are a little bit hard. So I'm going to just select all the low notes that I think are going to cause some issues. And I'm just going to bring down the velocity a little bit. Cool. Oh, there's one other bad boy there that guy is a little bit too hard as well. I like a bit of humanization, but I don't like things to be too too rigid, or like stuff to come out too much. So I usually like to play stuff in and then edit it later. So that's I've got to have a little bit of feel in there, I guess. So I'm happy with that, how that's sounding. The next thing I want to add is another couple of instruments on top of that are going to kind of act as like the higher register things. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to create a software instrument, and I'm going to use my, I made this coffee mug bell. So this is a sound I made from using just coffee mug and sampled it in and turned it into an instrument. it kind of got like a bit of detuned sound, so I dig that. So now I'm going to create 2 channels of that one and see what I come up with that. I like that. That's good. All right. And then the other one. All right. Alright, so now I've got these 2. I'm just going to give them a quick quantize so that they're all nice and in time. And then I'm going to create a track stack and hard pan them left and right. And currently they both have an H delay on them, panning them hard left and right, so I'm just going to move that over to the master channel, as well as their reverb and their EQ, and get rid of the ones that are on the actual channels themselves. So everything I do to one is going to happen to the other one as well. Coffee mug. All right. That's cool. Only thing I want to do now is put a bit of modulation on it. Because I want it, like, it's already sounding a little bit dank, but I want it to sound like really dank. So I'm going to put kilohertz What have I got? I need more modulation plugins, honestly. Want something dang. Yeah, I'll try the Kilo Hut. See what we've got there. Some cool stuff. What's the ass? What do? I don't know what that does. That's weird. Actually, there's a Tequila Hearts have this thing called the multipass, and that's it's pretty much like a multi-band effects unit that you can like put into all different stuff, and it's really cool if you want to just like play around with some different sounds. I like to use it for just like messing up stuff pretty bad. So I mean that's pretty intense. No, those ones didn't really work the way I wanted them to. Mechanical. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And it's kind of subtle in the mix. It's just kind of like acting like a bit of a drip in there. Just to, I don't know, liven it up a little bit, add another layer. I don't want to go too far before I start doing some drums because I love the trap drums on this kind of stuff. And yeah, I really want to get into the trap drum side of things. First thing I want to do is do the snare. Now I'm going to yeah, that's what I want. Would help if I had a metronome. Let's try that again. And don't hit the one. All right, let's quantize that. Alright, we're going to find a good kick for this. Use that one, but I want to shorten it quite a bit. Oh, no. Tune it up. That's a cool sound. Let's try that again. I'm just going to copy that across. That's a good kick pattern. Let's do that twice. All right, now I want to get the take some of the high end out of the snare. Now we need some 808s. Yeah, that's loud. Oh no. Screwed up. Hold on a sec. The kicks, I'm just going to delete. the snare information. Snares we can delete information. I just want to keep these separated so we can edit them individually later. Throw some filth on this 808. So I'm going to get one of my saturated 808s from before and see how that sounds. You know what? I think I kind of prefer these two. Yeah, I think I prefer these to be on the first bar rather than the second bar. That way we get a similar sound the whole way through. So next thing I want to do is I want to pan these snares. Sure. That one. Not much. Ha, that was a tune, not a pan. I just want to pan it like a little bit to the left, and I'm going to pan the clap a little bit to the right, and I'm going to keep that other one in the center, so you kind of get this feeling of movement across the space as they play. Let's see how that sounds. You won't be able to hear it because you can't hear panning right now, but I'm going to be able to hear it, and that's all that matters. This may be a little bit more, maybe 20. That's going to go across that same amount. All right. Next up, going to get some hats happening. So I'm going to have 2 hats running on this. Oh, probably 3 actually. First is going to be a straight 8th note hat. Or maybe 16th note because this is pretty slow. That one. All right. Jesus. All right. And and I'm just going to repeat that for Alright. Now I want to give these hats a little bit of swing to them too. That's cool. And then I'm also going to pan them off to the right a little bit. In here. Alright. Terrible playing. One thing I don't like about open hats is sometimes they've got too much iron in them. I'm just going to rip out some of that real high end. I just think open hi-hats are just supposed to be a bit of flavor in there. And sometimes they take too much because they got way too much like high-end piercing energy. Alright, and so now I've panned that even further across, so most of these hats are in the right side right now. And I'm going to finish it off with adding some uber fast trap hat. At the very end of the bars with some triplet 30-second notes. On that one. And we're going to pan them to the left and tune them down a little bit. And also turn them down a little bit louder. And add them every first bar. It sounded pretty cool. I like the speed. Just gonna add 2 more. and one more just before that last clap. Just to let them know we're thinking about it. And we'll take those last hats out. All right, there's a bit going on now. We've got a main bell melody running throughout the thing. We've got the coffee mug vibe that's kicking on top of that. And then we've also got the like full drum kit rocking with a bunch of trap hats, some snares, and kick pattern and an 808 that's providing our bass tone. The last thing I kind of want to add is a bit of like an experimental noise in there. Because I feel like we could do something interesting. So I'm going to open up my browser here, and I've got a bunch of samples of stuff that I've taken with my friend Trav, who might be watching. Hey Trav, you know what I'm about to do. Yo, one sec, I'll be back. Just have a listen to the beat for a sec. Oh, that's not it. All right, my wife just got home. Yeah, so I'm gonna. I was gonna play the beat, but it didn't turn off for some reason. So I'm gonna find a good sound that's gonna work well with what we want to do. No. Actually, that's cool. All right. So I found this pan sweep, which I think. Oh, I got rid of it. I'll find it again. We just kind of brushed some grass and recorded left to right and had a bit of a cool stereo effect to it. So I'm going to bring that one in now. I want to find it again. Cool. Enter a new channel there, and we'll have a listen to it and see what we can do with it. Because it's going to need a little bit of processing to kind of work well with the system, but we'll make it work. just at the start of the bar, that actually works really well. I'm going to put some distortion on it so we can crank up the sound and get some vibe in it. So give me a sec. Distortion. I'm going to use my 1 knob driver. Oh shit, this is a mono sound. Oh, that's weird. I thought it would have been stereo. What? Is that possible? Stand by. Maybe it is mono. Alright, we're going to fix that. I'm going to put my distortion on it. I'm going to put the 1 knob driver, and then I'm going to put a stereo widener on it. Because I want this to be kind of like a big, bright sound. And make it sound good. There we go. That's what I want. That sounds sick. Now I just need some hectic reverb, and I think actually I might use a convolution reverb. So at work one day I got really bored and went around and got impulse responses from all of my from a few places at work, and they came up with some interesting sounds. So I'm just gonna play around with that. I mean, that works really well as a main choir. Yeah, that's what we're going to use. And we're going to put one of those every 4 bars and 8 bars and 2 bars. Alright, I'm just going to turn it down more. It doesn't really need to be that loud in the mix. Now I'm going to just join those all together, make a nice file that we can use, and yeah. I like to put a few original sounds in the mix because it just makes it sound sick. All right. I'm going to move all these over, making, might only give it 4 bars of intro on this beat, because it is quite a long beat to begin with. So and then in. That's cool. I'm going to drop into a verse here, and just have the kick, snare, and cymbals rocking with the main bells. throw the coffee mug sound in halfway through. Cut out everything except for bells for this last bar. And then do the same thing, but we're going to throw the 808 in there as well. And then we're going to jump back into the whole thing. Because it's such a slow beat, we can't really afford to have too long a time without a chorus. After that, I'm just going to go straight to the bells by themselves. Actually, no, with the coffee mug melody. Going to bounce the snare in place for a bit of lo-fi action here. And what I'm going to use for that is I'm just going to use the kilohertz multipass again and find a sweet lo-fi sound that they've got. I'm sure it's going to be some lo-fi pass delay, get rid of the delay. That's not lo-fi. I don't like that. That's crap. I'm just going to instead go one knob driver, throw some distortion on it, and then one knob filter, and then filter the crap out of it. And then drag it down in the mix. And then we're going to bring back the original snare with some cymbals. Take out the mug for that first half. chorus again. Let's drag that in. So I've just got the chords running in the first half of that with the coffee mug, but I've got the bells coming in for the second half. And then we're going to bring it all in with some 808s. Snare, lo-fi. Back to the chorus. And then the same as the intro is what's going to go into the outro. I'm going to keep it pretty simple there. Thanks, Josh. Oh man, I don't really set up the camera that well, but I will run you through the beat at the very end, so you'll be able to see a little bit better what I've got. I kind of want to get a bit of an overall vibe while I'm recording, but I don't really have the best recording setup. You're just watching through the phone, so hopefully you get a vibe of what I'm doing. But if you have any questions about anything I'm doing, just hit me up and I'll answer anything. I've got no secrets, just sick beats. All right, to finish my arrangement, I'm going to add my riser to the start of every chorus. It's a riser that I built using the sound of me clapping in a stairwell, which just, if you watched this before, you've seen me use this one. I use it on everything because I love the sample. Here it is. Oh, and that works so well too with that sound. I love this riser. It's so simple. It's pretty much just white noise, but I don't know, for some reason it sounds sick. So I put that at the start of every chorus. I'm going to throw my beat tag in there as well, which is very important. Because how else will people know who is making this beat unless I tell them with an obnoxious beat tag? Just going to cut it up to size and have a listen. One thing I don't really like is how distorted my 808s are. So I'm just going to take some of the saturation off them. That's better. Oh, that is some filth right there. All right. I'm just going to finish this up now with a little bit of like final mixing and mastering. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of all the channels that I'm not using, so that I don't use up too much of my computer's processing power. I normally put in more tracks than I end up using, so I'll delete all of those, and that is what we're left with. Not that much. It's a pretty simple beat. But I'm just going to mix or master this chorus sound and make sure it's all sounding good and fits within a good frequency range. That is about it. So I'm just going to play this through for you one more time, and I will show you what I was doing throughout it. Actually, I'm just going to make sure the end lines up before I do that. In fact, you know what? I think it might be better to have the second half of the beat on the intro and the outro. So I'm just going to change those over. That's the second half of that bell pattern because it's got that finish on it. I'm just going to put that in, see how that sounds. I want some sauce on that beat, bitch. Ah, yeah, that's cool. Jesus. I'm just going to extend my loop for a little bit. All right. So that is essentially the entire beat done. Any questions about it, let me know. I'm going to run it through you one more time. If you want to buy it or you're interested in it, it's called Rauge. It'll be released on my BeatStars page for sale and SoundCloud and YouTube and all that kind of stuff in about a month's time. But yeah, if you want to hit it up early, just let me know and I'll do you a deal. All right, so I got to do a couple of things. I got to flip this sideways. There we go, and you can see what's going on. This is my screen. This is my setup. This is what it looks like to be me. And let's just have a playthrough start to finish, and I'll just open up the plugins, and you'll be able to see what kind of stuff I'm doing. as we go. I'll try and keep it relevant to what's playing at the time.
Throwing some sauce on that beat, bitch.
All right, guys, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this stuff, just follow my YouTube page. If you want my beats, they're on BeatStars. Hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of the streaming medias. I've got SoundCloud, everything. And yeah, guys, have a good one. Hope you enjoyed it.